Tens of millions of dollars of federal funding is set to go into Oregon's chips industry. $50 million of funding will support the expansion of HP's chip manufacturing facility in Corvallis. The money would build on a project that would create nearly 250 construction and manufacturing jobs in Corvallis. The project is part of the CHIPS and Science Act, investing billions on semiconductor manufacturing on U.S. soil and revitalizing communities by creating new jobs.